The measures of central tendency are the most commonly used in statistical analysis. We know them as mean, median, and mode, and their use is ubiquitous in statistical analysis. So let's see how it works. Before we begin, we have a quick look at our data set. In this course, we have been using the teaching evaluation data from the University of Texas. The data set comprises 463 courses in which we have information about the teaching evaluation score received by the instructor, and we have information about the attributes of the instructor as well as the characteristics of the course. When you view the dataset in SPSS, especially using the variable view, you will notice that all the variables are listed for the course and the instructor, and our target variable, which is the dependent variable, is teaching evaluation. The name of the variable is eval and the label is teaching evaluation. Before we begin, let's have a conversation about population and samples. Essentially, if you have all the information of interest for a particular decision about every individual that is supposed to be involved in that decision, that is called a population. So if you're interested in looking at some attribute of driving and we have information about all possible automobile drivers in the US, then we call this the population. The sample, on the other hand, is a subset of population. So for example, if we have a data on all married drivers over the age of 25, then that's a subset. And within that subset, if we were to randomly select 5% of those married drivers over the age of 25, that would be our sample. We use samples especially in cases where we do not want to incur the cost of collecting data for the entire population. That's it, there are 330 million individuals in a country. A sample size of say 3,500 individuals randomly selected would suffice. So it reduces the cost, and especially in cases where you cannot collect information for the entire population, using samples is really helpful. Now you see some Greek symbols on the screen, but don't be afraid. They're mostly to show you the formula, and we will proceed from there. While they may differ in notation, essentially the mean for a population and sample are the same. You sum up all the observations and then divide it by the number of observations and you get the mean, which we call averages. There are several properties of the mean and they're meaningful, but one of the characteristics of a mean is that if you take the difference between the average value for a variable and subtract the average from all the observations and sum them up, that sum would be equal to 0. Now, median is different from the mean. When you order the data from the smallest value to the largest value, the result in the middle, the value in the middle, that where an equal number of observations are above and the equal number of observations are below that value is called median. So if the median salary in some city is $45,000, it means that 50% of the people make more than $45,000 and another 50% makes less than that. Mode is essentially the value that occurs most frequently. So if the most common age in a class is of students is 16, then that's the mode. Now we will turn to SPSS for a hands-on training. Essentially, we want to estimate the mean values for beauty, score, evaluation, teaching evaluation, and age. So in SPSS, regardless of us being in variable view or data view, we'll select Analyze, Tables, Custom Tables, and it says that the variables have to be in a particular format, so that's fine. Just say OK, and we now populate this dialog box. We will select the variables of interest and paste them or drag them into rows. So beauty, age of the instructor, let's put it here, age, the normalized beauty score, let's put it here, and after we put the normalized beauty score, the teaching evaluation score, so we just leave it here. And now we got the three variables. We click summary statistics. We've got the mean there, so let's select the rest. If you look at here, mean, median, mode, and median is here, so let's select median, click on mode. Let's select mode, and for good measure select minimum and maximum. You can order them differently by clicking here, and I say apply to all, and then close and say OK. Notice that SPSS has produced the same results for you, and it has also executed a command which is right here. You can run this script later, or this syntax later, and by selecting copying and pasting the syntax into the syntax window, and it will run the same analysis for you.